not.
Oh no.
Yeah.
How do I look?
Uh-oh.
All rise for the Honorable Judge Lord Darth Ivan Vader Ilyich. Court is now in session on the account of Leo Tolstoy versus the Galactic Empire of Mother Russia.
You may sit. Leo Tolstoy, you have been summoned here to explain your latest outcry against what you believe to be the destructive influence of Western values of materialism and individualism at the expense of the traditional Russian ideals of community and compassion. Is this correct?
Yes, your lordship, or how would you like to be called?
You shall refer to me as Lord Vader. Any other titles will not be tolerated. Back to the original question. If you keep asking irrelevant questions, I shall execute you myself. Do you understand? Now, how do you respond to the accusations placed against you?
I'm terribly sorry, but isn't there supposed to be a prosecutor here next to me, or is he already executed?
I find your tone of voice disturbing. And for your information, I am the prosecutor, the judge, and the law. The only thing that I am not is the jury, which will determine your fate at the end of this trial, unless you keep asking irrelevant questions and I kill you myself.
Very well. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I come before you not to save myself from a death sentence, but to save our galactic empire from complete internalized falsehoods and misconceiving shrouds of darkness that will surround all of our lives if we continue down this dark road of westernization. All of you must understand that if we are to live successful lives in an individualistic society, we will be compromising our morals, and that have made Russia the greatest empire the galaxy has ever known. We as human beings cannot live our lives blind to this great truth, and if we did, we would never achieve true happiness. The state of false livehood, would only take us from our spiritual guidance and compassion towards others.
You cannot be serious. If what you say is true, then why have I, a man who has lived his life according to what my duties towards our Imperial Republic ask of me, have been so successful in crushing anyone who has stood in my way? I care not for myself, but for what must be done for the Empire. I do as my master commands, and am now the supreme ruler in the galaxy and in this courtroom. Let me remind you, Leo Tolstoy, that you have succumbed to the supposed poison you wish to eradicate while you served as a stormtrooper long ago, where you indulged in gambling sprees, drinking binges, and chronic womanizing. How do you explain this hypocrisy?
You are correct. There was a time where I too lived my life in accordance to what the world around me asked for. I served my empire, but I also succumbed to sin and drowned in my sorrow. It was not until after my success with the works that won me fame that I realized I'd been living in a world that I'd wrapped myself around with lies. I couldn't keep living this way and change the man you now see today. Now, I come to tell you, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, that giving up a life of false identity is one of the best things that ever happened to me. It changed me for the better. Wouldn't you agree, Lord Vader?
No, actually. No, I actually would not. I never wanted to have a machine that breathes for me. I never even wanted to be a machine in the first place. But there are sacrifices I had to make for things to go according to plan, according to what needed to happen in order for my ultimate success.
Your success is superficial, though. Your flesh is scarred with what you had to do to achieve the image you tried so hard not to let break. You might seem powerful and influential to everyone else, but you cannot fool yourself. You know for a fact that you use your outward appearance to forget what you do.
I will not have you insult me in my courtroom. You forget your place in this trial. You are the one who stands accused, not I.
I stand accused in a system that finds anyone that wants to have a piece of conscience accused of treason against an empire that measures success with how much material wealth you have rather than how clean your conscience
You
is.
still forget, Count. Your conscience is not completely clean. You have not reached salvation yet, and all you do is criticize.
I describe life as it is, and I will not stop striving for my life's purity because I will never be completely pure. But what I will not do is fall back into a life wasted away by glorifying what others see you as. I strive for truth and only truth, so help me God.
It is treason then. Leo Tolstoy, I find you guilty of radical views and illicit philosophies that are a threat to the well-being of all the citizens of this empire. I sentence you to be executed immediately.
Is this a threat to the well-being of all citizens of the empire, or only a threat to your false identity?
Prepare to die. Yeah!
All of your success does not matter anymore. You gave up your true self for this striving to hide it, but there is no escaping reality. Look, we're Sir. Do you not yet realize that my reason for this is not to harm you, but to save you from yourself?
Liar. You're lying.
No, in fact, I'm doing the exact opposite, Ivan. You must realize that your complete obsession over the unlimited power you wish to possess has driven you to this point. There can be no true happiness in your way of life, Ivan. None whatsoever.
You know something, Count? Lying here with my arm cut off, and looking at you, looking at me, while some stranger looks on at me, looking at you, looking at me, makes me realize that you're right. I was living a lie. I was living only as others perceived me to be, and nothing more. Maybe I wasn't living at all until now.
Result, Ivan Ilyich is a tragic hero. Court dismissed.